Hi, I am so glad you came back for the next template piece. I'm Jessie Ziegler, Threaded Quilting Studio. We're doing the No Y Seam Feathered Star block, and we are up to template pieces E through H. And if you did template pieces A, B, C, and D, you really are going to think that this is easy. But we're going to do this together. I'm going to do E with you, and then I'm going to release you to do the other three. I think that will be a good system for how to proceed with this block. The first piece is a background triangle, and the second piece is a star tip. It was exactly how we started with template A. So I'm going to turn this around. I'm going to find a background triangle, and I'm just going to dab some glue here on, I'm not using a whole lot, on the paper. When you're placing the first triangle piece, you want to make sure to give yourself 1/4 of an inch past the sewing line, looking at it from the front of the template piece and holding it up to a light source. You should see that there's 1/4 of an inch extended past that sewing line. So I have my star tip piece. It's a 3" by 2" rectangle, and I'm aligning it with the triangle, and I'm leaving some of that triangle here, but I'm making sure that this is covered, it's covering the seam allowance. Like that. I'm sewing on the solid line, clipping my threads, turning it over, and giving it a quick finger press. All right. You know what's next, right? Okay, I've just trimmed the extra seam allowance away. I need a background triangle. I'm aligning it like this, making sure that my seam allowances are covered on each side, just kind of centering that as best I can. I'm sewing the line between piece 2 and 3 on the Unit E template piece. They're short little lines. Trimming, pressing that back. Looking ahead to my next seam and aligning the cardboard with it, pushing the paper back, add a 1/4 ruler, trim. Need the darker blue triangle. Okay, so this triangle is going this direction, so that means I'm going to align my triangle to cover it after it's sewn. So tip down, both seam allowances are covered, and then I'm going to sew it just like that. Clipping threads, pressing. We are on a roll. Let's keep going. Next piece is E5, and that is a background triangle. So I'll grab that from my stack, align it. Clipping threads. Okay, now we're going to pre-trim along the next sewing line. Align my cardboard, get my add 1/4, trim that away. And that gives us the next nice clean line to align our light blue triangle with. finger pressing it. Same process. Finding our next sewing line, aligning the cardboard, add a quarter ruler, trimming, getting our next piece, which is a background triangle, lining my needle right on top of the solid line that separates pieces. Might also be worth mentioning, I find it easier to sew with my sewing needle position right at the middle instead of like a 1/4 inch seam, or to the left. Right in the center seems to be helpful for me. Turning it over, this is our last piece coming up, so aligning the cardboard on the next sewing line, trimming that seam allowance ahead of time, getting a green square, and I'm lining that up with my clean trimmed edge and just centering that so that this whole seam allowance will be covered once I sew and press. Now I feel like it's the beauty treatment where we kind of looks like a hot mess and then we trim it all up to look beautiful. I'm aligning the 1/4 inch seam with the black solid line around the outside. Ta-da! Do you think you can? Not as many pieces, and I'm sure you're going to get faster as you go along. Template piece E is complete. Do the other 3, and then join me back here for the next video. Thank you again for watching.